Well, maybe, just maybe, Stellantis's new communications director or marketing director has got to John Elkann and they're making some damn sense. Or maybe not. The stock is in the 11s now. I called this a week ago. I said it was going there. It might get down to the 10s, down into the 10. And it's bad. And there's a simple way they can fix it. They just keep letting the stock slide. I don't get it. So that's right, guys. Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And things are not looking up for Stellantis. I had a lot of hope in November and December when I saw the negotiations and the discussions going on to bring Tim Kuniskis back. I know he's got a lot of things in the pipeline to bring Ram back to prominence. And I know that a lot of the people that came up under him are now running Dodge, and another person that is associated with them running Jeep. But that's not affecting the stock price now. Seeing the stock price in the 11s, all right, so $11.80. That's bad. And I just saw like comments here earlier this week where people were saying, oh, TK, it'll never make it to the 11s. It's going to go back up. Nope. And it's going to go further down. Why? Because I feel like John Elkann is a retard. And I can say that. You've known about these tariffs being put into place between Canada and Mexico for months. You knew that these were coming. You had phone calls with your board. You had active discussions on moving the 2500 to Warren or to Shap, to Sterling Heights Assembly. But you didn't start the process to do it. You moved your engines. Yeah, you've moved the Hemis. The Hemis, the 6.2, 6.4, and 5.7 will be built here in America, finally. But you just had them rapidly produce as many of those 2500s and 3500s as you could and ship them across the border to just stack up on inventory. What happens 4 months from now, 6 months from now, when that inventory's gone? You ready to pay that 25%? Because you're going to pay it. And I already know, like, the reason why I'm doing this video today is because they did a phone call today, right? Like, they had a executive and board call. And they're like, well, let's just wait it out and see. You can't wait it out and see. You can't. You gotta move. I'm not talking about all the products, right? We know that the Charger is probably not going to leave Windsor. We know that the minivan's not leaving Canada. Like, I get it. But that could also happen. The reciprocal tariffs, you know, like we've hit that 25% on Canada. Canada responded. We could be seeing 50 to 100% tariffs on Canadian imports. And that would include the Dodge Charger. That means that's a wrap. You won't see any of those coming across the border. They're going to have to move those here. And they could do that. Instead of them building the Ram Charger at Sterling Heights Assembly, they could build the Dodge Charger, or they could move it to Belvedere. But it's stuff that needs to happen now. The fact that you're not already retooling for the 2500 and or the 3500 from Mexico here is a massive financial no-no for the company. Now, Yes, I know it costs more money for you to deal with UAW represented employees to build those trucks. But it's still 14% cheaper than you importing them from Mexico at 25%. Is the company just going to eat that in profits? Because right now it looks like negligence to your shareholders. That's what I'm looking at. And the SEC is going to look at it too. And if you don't think the SEC is already looking at Stellantis because of all the Mickey Mouse crap that Carlos Tavares did, you'd be sadly mistaken. Elkann knows it. There's not a lot of excuses here now. All right? You don't have the excuses you did previously. There's no excuse as to why you don't announce new Hemi vehicles, whether they're 18 months or 2 years away. You should have been announcing those already. The EU has already pulled back. They're already voting to pull back those emissions and those regulations for 3 years. The United States is about to be emissions free, baby. You don't have any excuse now. And your lack of announcing any kind of excitement for the brands is negligence. It's just massively dumb. It's bad fiscal responsibility for your shareholders. We're going to see this stock. Let Trump put more tariffs on Canada. Let that come out tomorrow and watch that stock hit $10. It's going to happen. This is not good news for Stellantis. And they knew about it. This is the thing that pisses me off about this, is Elkann sat down and spoke with the president in person before the inauguration. You knew that this was coming. You had phone calls with members of your board and your executives about moving stuff and how fast you could tool to move stuff from Mexico to here. You didn't do it. You have 1,500 employees that you laid off from Warren that you could bring back like this. They could help retool either Sterling Heights. You could move that 1,500 production that you're doing at Sterling Heights and move that to Warren, bring that 2,500 and 3,500 to Sterling Heights, and just put the Ram Charger off for now. There's zero excuse for Stellantis not to get this done now. These tariffs aren't going anywhere. So they have two options. They're going to hurt the shareholder by eating the 25%, or they're going to raise prices and not be able to compete with the likes of Toyota, GM, and Ford, which puts us right back to no recovery in the first quarter, no recovery in the second quarter. We're going into the third quarter, and the company could be looking at bankruptcy by the fourth quarter. I mean, I'm looking at actual numbers here. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. You lost $6 billion of cash burn, not to mention a 70% drop in profits last year. That is indications of this company's dead. And you have a word. You have a word. And I know you're already testing the frickin' mules on the streets of Detroit. I know that you have a timeline and a time schedule, but you also have a responsibility to your shareholders. You should have Tim Kuniskis announce that you're bringing back a Hemi for Ram. You should. With all of the issues you're having with the Hurricane engines in these Rams, and there's a ton, you should announce that the Hemi's coming back. Do a teaser video. Do something so that the writers, the bloggers, the other YouTubers like me, the media, can cause some excitement for your brand. If you don't, there might not be a brand to turn around and save. This is just bad management And I just don't understand the retardedness of these decisions. I could take the worst CEO from any other company and put them in and don't think they would run Stellantis as bad as it's been run right now. John Elkann has made some good moves since Tariffs has been pushed out. I'll give him credit. But all of this waiting on a CEO, you know what the emissions are going to be now. And that's what you were waiting for. You were waiting to announce a CEO because you had to wait to decide if you were going to split Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram off, and if the Peugeot family was going to give you crap to try to do it. Well, now that the EU is pushing back regulations, you don't have to split it off. The time is now. You need to announce a CEO that's going to actually make people have faith in the brand. You need to talk about maybe increasing the warranties on all your vehicles. Maybe 4 years, 50,000 miles, so that you're better than GM, you're better than Ford. And you need to come out and say that the Hemi's coming back. Because if you don't, and if you don't do it in a rapid order, you're literally costing your shareholders millions of dollars. And it's unacceptable. And I hope the SEC smacks the dog shit out of you for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.